My goal is to stay in the previous modeling phase as long as possible because as we're making revisions and changing things around, there's just not as many things to move. There's all of the guidelines for the walls are very easy to move and we don't have a lot of notes and dimensions in the way. So I like to stay in that phase as long as possible. Once we are well established and we're going to move on toward making the plans look a little bit more like a set of construction drawings, this next plans phase, we are going to add the window or the walls on the inside, the interior walls, all interior doors, exterior doors and windows, stairs, any plumbing fixtures, and appliances. A lot of some of these other things like the kitchen cabinets, they're just lines or polygons. The island, these stools are. These columns are just lines. But aside from that, and they're all, I believe they're all just in the annotations layer. So when we're at the tail end of this phase, what I'd be giving the client would be this first floor plan, the second floor plan. The front elevation at this point is looking decent, and the elevations from the other perspective, from the other sides, and the roof plan are all decent to show. So they're starting to get a little bit more complete. What I'm going to show you now is the foundation plan that I'm going to do. Just want to do it real quickly. Also wanted to point out also that anytime we're making any changes to these plans, if the building envelope is changing in size, we want to make sure that we update this square footage number on both the first and the second floor. That's just real important. And I know that I told you earlier that we go to the outside of framing to compute that. However, two additional things I wanted to point out. On the second floor where there's some openings below, like here is open to the foyer and this is all open to the great room, we go around those areas. We don't include them in the square footage. And also I have a client that actually measures the square footage to the outside of brick if it's a brick structure. So I want to keep that in mind as well. And I'll just have to be specific when I'm giving you instructions. But I'm going to open up the first floor, and what I'm going to do is take the select similar tool, grab an outside wall, so all the outside walls are selected, and I'm going to shift click these divider walls between the garage and the house. I'm going to Command D, I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to put them down into the basement layer. I'm going to go to the basement working layer. So these are all the walls that are duplicated from above. So what I want to do, whoops, don't want to do that. What I want to do real quick is get rid of any of these doors, most of these doors and windows, because I'm not going to be needing them. The ones along the back, I'm going to keep those. The ones along the side, I'm going to delete. Then I also want to, I see some of these walls connections are messed up. So I'm just going to join those real quick. Okay. So next I am going to select all the outside walls again, and then I'm just going to change them over here under the wall styles and the object info palette. I'm going to replace them all. I'm going to use the outside or the left hand line of the existing and change the wall style. I'm changing them all to poured concrete 10-inch. I'm going to replace them from left line to left line because all of the walls are going in a clockwise fashion. So I want to make sure that I replace them all from the left line in so that the outside of brick is flush with the outside of the poured concrete. And then lastly, I just want to change the class real quick to wall exterior concrete. And then just select these 3 walls for the divider wall, and I'm going to do the same thing. Only I'm going to replace them with poured concrete again, 10-inch, and I'm going to do it from the left line so that I have a nice concrete edge on the inside of the garage above for the slab to sit on. Change that. Oops. Change that class to wall exterior concrete. And so that's it. That's a basic, it's a basic foundation plan. Just need to join these walls, and then I'm gonna have to make a decision here. I'm gonna have to move this wall over and align it, and also join those walls. So, where at? So if you, I'm going to turn off real quick. I would also at this point develop the these guides. I would take any of those symbols that I had over in the left-hand column for doors and windows for the guides layer. I'd place those and establish this layout for the basement, if there is one. So what I'm going to do is look one more time at the working layer, turn off the guides, and I just want to ghost the first floor plan above so you can see that the brick does line up with the outside of the concrete footer. And I'm not 100% done here, but I just wanted to show you real quick the quick way that I duplicate all the walls from the first floor to the basement. And then of course this doesn't have a full foundation, so I'm going to have to change the bottom height of these walls and the height of the walls to make those all correct. But that's the way that I do that. And then lastly, right before I'm done, I do one more model. I'm going to render this in a blue line, artistic shadow blue, and I've actually already done that. And I just did a 180-degree animation. So this is really looking pretty good to the client at this point. They should have no trouble visualizing it.